Alright then, I'm off. Look out for cars. Be back before dinner time. Today was the day of the barbecue party that was the Hinamizawa Fighters' victory celebration. Of course, I, having prepared myself, skipped breakfast in order to stay hungry. Ichi should not— oh my god, the lookout for cars. Good catch, Zeros. So with all the club members coming, it was pretty possible that there would be a contest based on how fast or how much you could eat. Rena was already at our usual meeting place. Mion arrived a few minutes later. Great, let's get going. This old man skipped breakfast and is starving to death. I expected nothing less. I too went without breakfast and am now in top physical condition. It's amazing how intelligent and also stupid Mion is. Wow, you two, skipping breakfast is bad for your health. Rena made sure to eat something. Without Rena, I was gonna say, I bet the two of them would die, but, well, you know. Yeah, you're great, Rena. Breakfast is an important part of the day. I'm sure you'll surpass that unhealthy Mion, get yourself a nice springy body, and be all over the dirty magazines. Oh, the dirty magazines. She's like, oh hell yeah, dude. If I get a nice body, then maybe a prince on a white horse will come for Rena too? For Rena too? Definitely not happening. If you won't take responsibility for them, Kei-chan, then don't give Rena any silly ideas. She might start eating breakfast 3 times a day starting tomorrow. Yeah, I could see Rena doing that. Wait, who did this gluttonous princess think was going to come for her? Well, anyway, we're all nice and hungry. Let's go treat ourselves at the big barbecue party. Rena's surprisingly sex positive? It's true! When Keiichi saw her underwear when they got, like, strung up in Sadako's traps, I was, like, surprised that upset her at all. The venue for said barbecue was to be the Furude Shrine Grounds where Rika-chan lived. They held events and festivals there, and barbecues, too. It was the place that held all sorts of ceremonies in Hinamizawa. Come to think of it, there was supposed to be a big village festival coming up, wasn't there? Watanagashi or something. The scenery you could see from that high up was fairly superb, and the calm atmosphere, particular to shrines, was something fairly difficult to find in the city. We left our bicycles at the bottom of the shrine steps and broke into a mad dash up the stairs. Yeah, he just knows now. When we arrived on the shrine grounds, the Hinamizawa fighters and their fathers had already gathered and begun setting up for the barbecue early. Of course, Sadako and Rika-chan were there as well. When they noticed our arrival, they waved to us. Oh, so you managed not to forget about this. Curses. If you all hadn't come, there would have been so much more meat for me. How truly disappointing it is. You underestimate us, Sadako. Now that we've arrived, you don't think you'll be able to have even one bite of that fabulously marbled beef, do you? Remember when we ate our bento here? You and I have a fatal difference in reach. I'll be overwhelming you once again. Yo, he's referencing Oni Kikuchi. So remember how y'all were like, God, it's such a shame that none of this shit happens and it's like a new timeline. Well, it is a new timeline. But also, a lot of the same stuff happens. What? You cannot allow that to happen by any means. Try and shout all you want, you'll just be watching us fill our mouths with beef. Don't worry, though. We'll give you the peppers and onions to you. I'll give Sadako lots and lots of the grilled squash, too. When Sadako heard the word squash, her complexion changed color. When she took my overwhelming reach into account, she knew it wasn't just a threat, it could actually happen. Rada. I'll go tell the coach. I'll tell him you really love squash. If it's for you, I bet you'll get a whole mountain of specialty squash from all over Japan. Wow, good for you, Sadako. You'll have your pick of the squash. You can have the squash from dawn till dusk, 3 meals a day. Remember when Keiichi was like, bruh, I'm gonna stop bullying Sadako so much. Anyway. Rena, everyone's bullying me. Sadako tried to leap into Rena's chest. Oh no. Clearly given another second, Rena's mock punches would have piled us on the ground. So just before Sadako hit Rena, I grabbed her by the nape of the neck and pulled her back. A superb reaction with only seconds of foresight. At least it was supposed to be. But for Rena, when I caught the leaping, crying Sadako, it looked like I was keeping her to myself. Oh. No, Keiichi-kun. This is Rena's, okay? I'm taking her home. Ah, Rena-san. Beat up Mion-san and Rika like that, too. Her sprite changed from the crying sprite back to the smug sprite mid-sentence. Like, now fucking drop Mion and Rika. Whoa, hold on there. Yeah. Okay, now where could Rika be? There she is. Rena-san, over there. Just wait, Sadako-chan. I'll take care of her right away. Then I'm bringing you straight home. Meep. Sadako, you're mean. Oh. Rika-chan's so cute, too. Oh, I'm gonna take her home. Rika, it serves you right. Sadako laughed in a shrill voice at Rika-chan and Rena's unproductive game of tag while we watched them, sprawled out on the ground. Are you alright, Maibara-san? Hanazaki-san? The coach came over and lent us a hand. Yeah, this is just how we communicate, that's all. Don't mind us. If the way we communicate ends up leaving bruises on my face, then I don't want any more to do with it. Yeah, let's see classic Yuri, eh? What? Okay. Alright, so... here's that. Oh my god, look at him. It's the old art style does have charm. It's just, you know, when a new sprite shows up, it is. Don't lust over children's hands. You're so sexy. So true. He's serving. He is. You never learn, do you? Laughed the coach loudly. It made us start to laugh too. Sadako's laughter, Rika-chan's yelling, and Rena's strange voice were kind of comfortable to hear. The adults here knew what they were doing, so the barbecue was ready in short order. As the salad oil dripped down onto the plate with a hiss, there was a loud cheer. When the coach brought over a big plate with all the meat on it, we all cheered again. Wow, this meat looks amazing. Coach, you really did splurge on it. I did make a promise. Can you tell how much all of this weighs? It really did cost me a lot. Of course it did. Third-rate meat wouldn't be enough of a reward for everything I did yesterday. Yeah, Sadako-chan's definitely the guest of honor today. Yeah, Sadako was the one who hit that last home run after all. You might have caught the guy off guard, but the arc it flew was long and true. Sadako is pretty athletic. Not bad at all. She could be one of the best of our generation. She doesn't fall behind in physical ability, even compared to me. Maybe Sadako-chan has a big future in the world of sports. Stop singing my praises, you're making me blush. Munch, munch. Sadako, for whom the excessive praise made her not notice the moderately grilled meat being stolen one after the other, was just far too cute. Maibara-san, this is heavy. Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun were carrying something over to us. It was a huge barbecue plate. Oh, the barbecue's protagonist has arrived. The plate was chock full of skewers with vegetables and meat on them. The grilled, burning hot meat juice made a shh noise as they drizzled off. You need a lot of heat for cooking something on a metal skewer, so they had grilled the whole plate at once. Yep, can't have a barbecue without some of these. You can say that again. I'll help out, so let's get it over there. Up we go. Wow, look, it's amazing. Everyone greeted us with a cheer. Each person received a skewer with vegetables and big pieces of meat on it. They also received paper cups filled to the brim with juice. In my right hand were pounds of piping hot barbecue. In left was a cup of juice I could chug down. If this didn't make you want to dance, you weren't a man. That line is, literally, what? I can't hold back any longer. I'm gobbling it down. Not just yet, Kei-chan. We've got a little ceremony first. Can I have your attention, everyone? The coach, with a cup of beer in his hand, mounted the nearby beer cooler. This was supposed to be a victory celebration, after all. We needed an opening statement. Damn, I hope it ends soon. For every second this goes on for, a little more of the food's freshness goes away. Sadako stomped down on the back of my foot. My word, men your age are so greedy. Can you not wait just a little more elegantly? Is everything I'm thinking really showing on my face? No, you're saying it out loud, you dumb ass! Okay, is everyone listening? We won a huge game yesterday. It had become a hard battle after that amazing pitcher came in. But thanks to equally reliable saviors on our side, we scored a beautiful turnaround victory. Clap, 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 clap. Both my hands were full, so the adults and older brothers gave a round of applause. This is to celebrate that victory. As promised, I got a ton of delicious meat for everyone. Eat as much as you want and use that energy on our next game. Then, after a few words of thanks to the fathers and brothers who helped with the barbecue, he led us in a toast. Cheers! They say that when toasting, you would normally down the contents of your cup. But we were young. At the toast, all of us immediately began to dig into our skewers. Keiichi-san in this book was not clapping here, now he dies. Lost man's wallet is dead. Oh yeah, no, it wasn't just for the club, it was for the team. After that, it got really lively, with everyone congratulating one another for things they did during the game. Like how someone made a great catch, or how awesome someone looked when stealing a base. Of course, they congratulated me too, the savior who appeared to fight against the Koshin pitcher. Well, even what I did was all thanks to Sadako. Sadako did have a plan, but you're the only one who could have won over Kameda like you did, Kei-chan. You did more than enough to deserve praise. By the way, Keiichi-kun, you went to eat cake with Kameda-kun after that, didn't you? You looked like you were best friends. The seeds of friendship sprouting between male rivals. Something like that? That's sort of... well, it's... How? Oh my god. Oh my god. Rena Fujo? Fujo confirmed? I actually love that for Rena. Fujoshi's Island. I've violently brushed through Rena's hair as she turned red in the face for some reason at the mention of friendship between males, dispersing her pleasant-seeming ideas. Now then, where's the hero? Or rather, the heroine, Sadako. Oh, there she is. Sadako was with Rika-chan, in the middle of bragging her heart out about the home run yesterday. She's gotta tell the wife about her home run. Or, no, the husband. And her teammates spared no compliment for her, since even though he was going easy on her, the fact that she hit a throw from a Koshin pitcher was something else. Sadako was more loquacious than ever, and it seemed she was in a great mood. She was flying so high that I thought for a moment about getting a word in to tease her. But she was the leading actress today, so I decided not to bully her at all. As I watched Sadako going at things as lively as usual under the sun, it struck me that it didn't quite line up with the pleasant time I'd spent with her. But both of those were the real Sadako. I didn't care which it was, her smiling happily, or making a big lively fuss like this. Just as long as she would keep smiling like this forever. She looks like she's having fun. Quite a lot of it. The coach had approached me from behind before I realized it. As he gazed at Sadako from afar like I had been doing, he addressed me. Though I could tell he was talking about her. Doesn't it just cleanse your soul to see Sadako-chan smiling? What's gayer, being gay or whatever the fuck Char and Amuro have going on? I like that one a lot, but with Aki and Angel from Chainsaw Man, but also Char and Amuro are the classic. He smiled, refreshed, searching for confirmation. Felt a little embarrassed to admit it, so against my better judgment, I played it off. Really? I don't think her smile could cleanse so much as a plate. I'm sure Sadako-chan would be mad if she heard that. That part of her is very cute, too. Leaving her cuteness aside, I could understand him thinking Sadako getting angry for being teased would be funny. Mr. Irie, was it? That's right. Everyone else calls me Coach, though. I'd be very happy if you called me Coach as well, Maibara-san. As he said that, Coach Irie smiled, blushing a little. Coach, you seem to like Sadako a lot. I didn't have any real basis for saying that. It was just what I felt to be true. Yes, I do like her. I love her, in fact. When she gets older, I'm thinking of asking her to marry me. I also think this guy should die. I heard this coach guy was the kind of person who said crazy things out of nowhere. According to Mion, if I took everything he said seriously, I physically wouldn't be able to take it. I was able to ignore that part of him. He seemed like he'd be a really funny guy. Maibara-san, did that surprise you? Could it be you're going after Sadako-chan yourself? That would bother me then. Odd. Fucking... I must somehow master the art of responding to this coach guy. Yeah, he's not actually... He just makes very, very off-color jokes. Fucking Irie. After that, I received many words of praise for my actions, almost too many. As that conversation was happening. Leaving aside the controversial statements this coach person would spout suddenly, I learned he was very composed and not a bad guy by any stretch. I think Sadako deserved more praise for that crazy home run she got. I honestly didn't think she had it in her. Sadako-chan's older brother was more the quiet bookworm type. She probably inherited the exact opposite skill set. Yeah, they were not cooking. He was not cooking with Irie, because Irie is like a pretty important character, and it's like this thing with him where it's like He says weird shit that you shouldn't take seriously, and you actually shouldn't take it seriously. But it's like, but this is like a mystery horror visual novel, so how do we know we're not supposed to take that seriously? It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing with Irie. So I just have to, like, scan Irie's dialogue, and if it's bullshit, skip through it, and if it's important, then I have to read it. Because there's, like, the Irie that we actually get, the Irie that you get if you read all his lines, which is like a fucking creep, and then there's, like, the person that you want, that Ryukishi wants you to think Irie is, which is, like, an interesting, nice man who says goofy shit sometimes. And it's like, okay, but the goofy shit he says is bad. It's not good. Yeah, now he's actually talking about Satoshi's lore. Her brother? Right, he meant Satoshi. The one who left Sadako and ran away from home. Sadako's Nini. Hojo Satoshi. Do you not know about him? Sadako-chan's older brother, I mean. His name is Hojo Satoshi-kun, and he played with the Hinamizawa Fighters too. I wanted him to play a lot more, but then he transferred. Huh. I see. So he transferred. Yeah. Maybe that was a little more considerate than saying he ran away. Now that he mentioned it, I think it was Rena. I think she said Satoshi transferred too. I didn't know the details of him having run away from home at the time, so I didn't pay much attention to it, but... Only her brother transferred? That's sort of unusual. Everyone having fun was far away, their cheerful voices distant. A chorus of cicadas separated us from them, giving me a sense of distance. At first, I thought my own voice was too soft for even me to hear. But for a really long time, Coach didn't respond to my words. So at this point, I began to wonder if I said something I shouldn't have. Just when I began to feel impatient, Coach finally spoke. Something unfortunate happened. A few things, actually. After informing me what he was about to say was a secret, Coach began to talk a little at a time. It's been 3 years already. Right around this time of year, I think. Sadako-chan's parents were in an accident. An accident? Yes. At a public park they visited while on vacation, they fell from a viewing platform. It was supposed to just be a little time away from the house with the family. They went for a walk on a path through a nature park after it had rained. There was a little viewing platform that looked like it had a good view. That was the stage on which the tragedy was set. The metal fixtures in the viewing platform fence had deteriorated from time, and with all the rain they had just gotten, they might have loosened somewhat. Right before Sadako's eyes, both the fence and her parents fell. There was a river some tens of meters below. Yeah, right in front of her. The water level was high due to the rain, and apparently very muddy. And her parents? Coach gave a thin but melancholic smile and touched his paper cup to his lips. Without saying anything, I knew how unfortunate that accident was, and how Sadako's parents left on an internal vacation. Then Sadako is... well... I was so focused on being careful with my words that I lost what I was going to say. A single word. Orphaned. I knew how little consideration it showed and how much it would hurt Sadako without having to say it aloud. Come to think of it, Sadako lived with Rika-chan. At least that's what I thought I heard from others. Wait, Rika-chan, her father died from illness too. and her mother soon after. I felt like I heard she was living by herself. Yes, she's living with Furude-san right now. They've probably lived many discouraging days without any parents, but they've gotten along by helping each other. Going on living without the protection of parents is very difficult for kids that age, I think. Maibara-san, you can probably understand that as well. I've only survived because I rely on my parents, so the only reply I could give was to nod. Oh my god, that's probably part of why this chapter is structured so that Keiichi is apart from his parents for so long. Furude-san is particularly beloved by the older people in the village. As long as she's here, she won't want for much. Come to think of it, you're right. Rika-chan kinda seems like the village mascot sometimes. I don't think she'd have a hard time living here. Rika-chan could go meep just once and get 2 or 3 croquettes from a vendor after all. I felt like if she asked for help, everyone in the village would. But that only applies to Furude-san in particular. Sadako-chan doesn't have it the same way. Rika being so spoiled was just an exception. Upon thinking about it normally, living on your own as a child should be fraught with difficulty. Yeah, bud! It wasn't, then, very difficult to imagine just how much suffering Sadako had to go through just to live. It wasn't very difficult to imagine. Was I really thinking that? No, I was only thinking the words. I couldn't imagine it in the slightest. How was I supposed to imagine it when I saw that annoying smile of hers? There was no way I could. I found out she was living apart from her brother, and I just kind of vaguely thought it was rather unfortunate. I mean, Sadako was smiling so energetically every single day. Was I thinking that her smiling meant she wasn't hurt? That she didn't feel lonely? When she found out my parents were coming home the other night, Sadako said, "A family sitting around the dinner table is the most fun way to enjoy a meal of all." Those words held a lot more weight now. I've seriously considered adopting her. Huh? Adoption? It's a secret. After warning me, Coach put his index finger to his lips. I've lived a really steady life all these years. I own property and I have credit. But marriage is the one thing I never got around to. By law, obviously a single individual can't adopt a child. So I can't make Sadako-chan my adopted daughter. What a shame. Didn't take long for my plan to get her to call me Papa to hit a setback. This guy spouts some crazy stuff. At first, I was only half listening. But midway through, I realized how rude that was. This coach person seriously only wished for this one girl, Sadako, to be happy. It was neither crazy nor was it nonsense. He just wanted her to be happy. Those were his true feelings. Sadako-chan's current lifestyle is probably not a very happy one. But, you know, I want to make it easier for her, even if it's only a little. Of course, I can't do much for her but share my leftover food and do errands she's not strong enough to do. So, yeah, all the shit that, like, Rika and Sadako can't actually do by themselves, it's been eerie, eh? You're wrong. Sadako's happy. Huh? Coach showed surprise at my having declared that. There are so many people around her that really want her to be happy. She can't possibly feel otherwise. I spoke with a serious expression, quietly but firmly all the same. It was my approval of his feelings and my gratitude as Sadako's Nini. Thank you. Still, keep this a secret from Sadako-chan, okay? If she knew I wanted to adopt her, she'd probably get mad and call me a pervert. Alright. I wonder. Sadako may have been somewhat childish, but she was still able to empathize with people. He'd call him that. I knew it. As if my feelings had gotten across, Coach grinned, satisfied, and returned his gaze to the hustle and bustle before us. Her parents and her older brother. She lost all her family, had no relatives, and was huddled up with Rika-chan, who was in the same situation. Ojo Sadako. It wouldn't be odd for her to look at her life with despair, but she didn't seem to feel that way. She lived energetically with a smile. I want her to keep smiling forever. It was a naive wish, and yet it was one that he couldn't help hoping for. So the words I spoke were the same. What a coincidence. I think the same way. Oh, you too, my Barakun? And that makes us friends. Let's make a promise. A promise? It's a very simple one. The coach said this, giving me a grin. That we will never, ever make her cry. It was short and to the point. Yeah, when you take out the unfunny, relatable quirk... See, this is the thing. This is the problem with Irie, is that he is, like, legitimately a good man, but they did a bad thing with his writing. That makes him seem like very much not a good person. Irie is harmless, but they made him make jokes that make him seem like he's a pedophile. It's bad that they did that. Man, I wonder if that is going to be important. This might be important. It is when she cry. Don't make her when she cry. It was short and to the point. Yeah. I promise too. Coach nodded happily. We exchanged no more words after that. We just sat there comfortably, gazing at Sadako and everyone else having a good time. She'd certainly lost family, but there were people watching over her. How reassuring that must have been. Just hypothetically, if you did adopt Sadako, what would you do? Oh, I think there's another bad line after this. I'm just gonna mash. Death penalty. Oh, that's the bit. Keiichi imagines a bunch of bad shit that he'd say, but he didn't actually say any of it. And then Shion shows up. Oh, that's right. Jesus Christ. Oh. It was fucking Shion who said all of it. I also hate that. My hand shot out and grabbed Shion, smiling, waving, about to leave by the nape of her neck. Hey, wait right there. Don't just show up out of nowhere and start saying crazy stuff. Speaking of saying crazy stuff, I thought the Sadako love talk you were having with the coach was pretty crazy, too. I can perform a reenactment of the adoption bit. Wanna see? Oh yeah, you know Shion. You know, just classic Shion. Just classic Shion. Ugh. You've been hiding ever since then? Hey, Chan. You can't even beat my sister. You're 100 years too early to challenge me. This was Sonozaki Shion, the younger of the Sonozaki twins. Though she hadn't a scrap of the reserved quality you'd expect from a little sister. She was a villain no better than her older sister Mion. We met the other day in town, and I dug myself into a hole when I mistook her for Mion. Unlike Mion, Shion was living in Okinomiya, so I think we'd never see each other again. But to think we actually would. So it seems like they met in the Angel Mort. Oh my god, they must have met when Keiichi went to Angel Mort with that guy. So probably the same shit that happened in Watanagashi happened, but the doll incident hadn't happened this time, so... My frankly displeased expression didn't change a bit either. Oh, wait. Okay, so the same thing happened, but it really was Shion this time. It wasn't Mion disguised as Shion. Yeah, exactly, Xeris, you got it. My frankly displeased expression didn't change a bit either. This must be what people mean when they say something is like water off a duck's back. Shion-san, you came. I was disappointed because I thought you wouldn't make it. Well, I couldn't think of anything else to do, really. I figured I'd come and tease you all a little. Coach, why did you need to call Shion to our victory celebration? How did she contribute to our team's win? Okay, Iris. I hope you get some good sleep. I'm probably going to be ending things pretty soon anyway. Rest up. Well, you see, I'm actually the manager for the Hinamizawa Fighters. The manager? No way. Then why weren't you at the game yesterday? That's because I'm like a ghost manager. She seemed to think I'd forgive her if she stuck her tongue out and smiled. She wasn't sorry at all. She does not live in Hinamizawa now. The match wasn't nearly as pretty without you there. I won't tell you to come to practices, but you could at least come to games to root for us like you used to. I'll think about it. Maybe I will if Kei-chan joins the Hinamizawa Fighters. Ah, so she used to go to the games. She doesn't anymore. But maybe she will if Kei-chan joins? Okay, Kara. Get some good rest, okay? Thanks for hanging out. I can't get into a cheering mood when there's no good-looking guys on the team. Huh? Did Shion just smoothly say something so absurd? Shion? You little... Where did you come from? Suddenly Mion came running over, latched onto my shoulders, and pulled me towards her. Ah, it's Mi-chan's little sister. Hello, Shi-chan. Hello, Rena-san. I'm honored you remembered my name. We only met once. Oh, not at all. Thanks for remembering Rena's name, too. Cut the stupid greetings. You're not allowed to solicit Kei-chan. He's the hope of our club. Don't pull him out and put him in baseball like he's some kind of plant. Mion gave a low growl as she grappled my arm. She looked like a little girl desperately clinging to her toy. Oh my god, Zeros, I saw that you wrote that line before. Yep, Ichi-kun is the star rookie of our club. We could never trade him away. Rena's smile hid a nonchalant bloodthirst. They're like, hi, Shion. Hi, Shion. Get the fuck away from Keiichi, okay? Shion, hi. Hi, good to see you, Shion. Get the fuck away from Keiichi. She was blocking Shion's way, ready to unleash an ultimate attack if she got within 2 meters of me. I felt like this was gonna turn into a bloody battle. God, imagine if any of these girls actually, like, committed murder with, like, Eiichi at the center of those events. Can you imagine that? That's too bad. We'll leave the negotiations for another time. You don't have the right to negotiate. Coach, why did you call Shion here, too? She's a ghost member. She's been slacking off for the last year. I just thought it would be even more fun if Shion-chan was here. Yep, it definitely worked. That was what he planned for all along. Mission accomplished. Hey! Kei-chan, come over here. We're all playing a game. With strings attached, of course. Shi-chan, how about you? The rules are simple and it'll be fun. Should I? I'll just win if I join in after all. Oh, Shion. I don't want to ruin my sister's presidential image. Mion, now irritated, turned around with a glare. What is it, my sister? Should I join in to make this a battle of the siblings? For your sake, I don't think we should. But if you want to... Bleh. I won't let you play, Shion. We're leaving you out. Bleh. Oh, Mion just avoided a direct confrontation. It seemed like the twins were completely incompatible with each other. You won't let her play? I was looking forward to seeing you two face off. I hate Shion. I'm bad against her. Oh, it's like this, huh? An angry Mion dragged me away. Slide. Do your best. I'll be rooting for you. Go for it, Kei-chan. Yay! Shion waved her hand at us, reveling in the bliss of teasing Mion. Alright. Club activities had begun, which meant I needed to clear my mind. It was today's battle. Today's punishment game. I'd take anything on. Okay, Keiichi-san. You should prepare yourself. We're going all out today. Great, bring it on. Sadako or not, I'll crush you all mercilessly. Rena will profit from your battle and fish herself up a win. And I'll get all the manta rays first and ride them to victory. What? Rika-chan is flat like a manta ray. I want to take you home. Okay, everyone. We have a lot of people today, so let's play something easy and simple. Today's game is... Higurashi. When they cry. Bro, what is... It's been a wild one tonight. They've really been all over the place. Everyone who lost the game dropped out and had to help clean up after the barbecue. Shion laughed more uproariously than anyone I'd ever heard when she saw my loser face. Okay. Was my getting bombed out of the game really that funny? Man, oh man. Kei-chan's face. He was like, how can you still call yourself human? Damn, Shion's pretty brutal. Damn it. I had it all worked out when I brought up the scissors. If only Sadako and Rika-chan hadn't betrayed me. It was going great when we had maintained a united front. But Sadako had been quicker to betray me than I her. He was just a tiny bit better than me. Ugh. I warned you about trusting Sadako. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were unanimously wearing I told you so faces. Incidentally, those two were victims of Sadako's traps pretty early on as well. Damn, I was trying to do well enough to make up for you two. And once again, for the showdown, it didn't matter. Maybe this meant I still couldn't match up to the other members yet. You were going to have the lowest ranked member of the club play a punishment game, weren't you? Shion remarked, as though forcing me to recall something I tried to forget, even for a moment. Is that right? Come to think of it, Maibara-san, when you came up with the punishment game with the president, you looked really heated up. What on earth did you decide on? I think that was either Okamura or, Tomita. I don't think that was, Shion. Or maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Earlier, Mion told me to get an Angel Moore uniform ready. Does that have anything to do with it? He told me to get the biggest size I could find. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were giving me these complex, indescribable looks, mixing empathy, pity, and the desire to see something scary all at once. All she could do now was laugh. Strangely enough, the more she laughed, the more I felt like it was actually funny. I lost. Oh my. Maibara-san, what's the matter? You're smiling, crying, and howling. I do love the vine boom. It's okay. He's just pretending not to like it. He can't hide his excitement at the opportunity to gain valuable experience using the punishment game as an excuse. Do you think... Now wait. There's one thing the Sonozaki sisters agree on. And it's Keiichi should put on a dress now. Right? Ugh. What do you mean valuable experience? I held my head in my hands in agony. My state of mind could be summed up with a 3-letter word. It was... sob. Coach gently put his hands on my shoulders. Is he comforting me? No, he's probably gonna be weird. Maibara-san. You should imagine you're a maid. Yeah, it's okay. Alright. Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun. Coach is pretty funny. I'm surprised he can even be a coach. Then they added he was really a nice person most of the time, which is something you'd normally say about a person like that. You could switch gears way too fast. And let's start cleaning up. Maibara-san, you seem quite strong. Could you bring the plates over to the wash basin and clean them? Right, on it. I hosted the dirty barbecue plates, each with slimy oil clinging to it, and looked for the wash basins. Ah, these are heavy. Where are the wash basins? Over there? Figuring I should make it there before my arms gave out, I headed towards it at a trot. A lot of the adults who had been helping out were using the wash basin, so I gave up and looked for a different set. I asked them, and they told me there were more right by the assembly hall too, so I decided to head that way. Rather than multiple basins, there was just one faucet there. I initially thought it would be too small to wash plates as big as these, but it would probably still be faster than waiting for a faucet to open back there. Eiichi, you need to stop going anywhere by yourself. I turned the faucet and water much nicer looking than it gushed forth. I put a plate under the faucet and scrubbed it with my hand and tried to rub it clean. It didn't go very well. Here you go. A sponge and dish soap. You can't wash them with just water. It was Shion. She threw a brand new sponge and container filled with cleaner to me. Oh, thanks. You should have just put them by the basins and left it to the grown-ups. You're always doing the right thing. I got the feeling that this wasn't quite a compliment. I answered her with a forced smile. I was surprised to learn you're the manager for the Hinamizawa fighters. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Spade. I thought you didn't do stuff like that because it's too much of a bother. Yes, it is quite a bother. That's why I stopped showing up entirely. Didn't Coach say he wanted you to come back? You should pay a visit once in a while. If I feel like it, I guess. Shion made it sound like the end of the world could happen before she felt like it. Whoops. I couldn't keep washing the dishes while preoccupied with this conversation, so I decided to take my task seriously. Shion neither offered to help nor got in my way. She just quietly watched the water flowing from the faucet. Oh, right. I heard something. You were the star player in yesterday's game, weren't you? Sadako hit the home run, so I think she was the real star player. I didn't know she had those kinds of reflexes. It surprised me. She's totally different from Satoshi-kun. There's not much doubt all the athletic ability in the family went to her. Shion smiled as she spoke, her eyes looking at something far away, betraying her reminiscence. Satoshi-kun? Hojo Sadako's older brother. You know, Hojo Satoshi-kun? Oh, right. You just moved here this year, didn't you, Kei-chan? You wouldn't have ever met him. I was a little surprised that Shion knew about Satoshi. Never met him, but I know a little. After their parents passed away, he transferred to a different school, right? Yeah, Zeros, this is correct. It was hinted at, yeah. I avoided saying that he ran away from home, and used the slightly more vague words that everyone else did. Transferred? Who said anything like that? I hadn't yet realized that Shion's tone had changed slightly. Well, I mean, who was it then? Yeah, I heard it from someone, that he transferred. Who? You said that because you asked someone, right? Who did I ask? I don't really remember. Even so, he transferred, so that's it, right? Not like there's a problem with it. Keiichi. There is one. Does that mean there's a record of his transfer? To another school? And that someone saw it? Or heard about it? Around that time, I not only noticed how awfully caught up on this Shion was, but also how startlingly dangerous her eyes had begun to look. Shion? What's up? You look really serious. With that, Shion seemed to realize the expression she was making. She took a deep breath, pretended to fix her hair, and went back to her composed expression from before. I'm sorry, but Kei-chan, you don't know much about Satoshi-kun, so please don't say that he transferred or anything like that. I'm serious. Please. I realized I must have said something I shouldn't have, but I wasn't immediately sure of what I should apologize for, so I just said one safe word for now. Sorry. I just sort of heard that he'd transferred and believed it. Was it actually something else? It was, of course. Preceded by his parents, he had left his sister and run away. But I'd want to try to avoid using the words run away, so I pretended not to know. Upon seeing my flustered reply, Shion realized she was intimidating me and lowered her voice. I'm sorry. I'm not blaming you for anything, Kei-chan. I was being a little harsh. I apologize. I didn't really mind. That was a fib. I was actually a little scared, even. Was there something wrong with saying he ran away? Was there some sort of misunderstanding in saying that he transferred? I don't know, dude. You beat two people to death over it once. But before I could ask her, she turned on her heel to leave. Hey, Shion. Right, good luck with those. Looks like your plate is last. That's the last one you need to wash. Her final remark reminded me of the dishes I had so easily forgotten about. So immersed in conversation were we that it got pretty late. I turned the faucet again to get the water flowing faster. I violently scrubbed the plate. When I turned back around, Shion was no longer there. By the time I'd finished washing the plates, most of the other things had been cleaned up. The air had cooled off before I realized it, and the heat that had stuck with us all day dispersed. A nice breeze started to blow. Okay, everyone, can I have your attention? Coach got everyone together to make his closing remarks, and with that, another fun day drew to its close. In the end, Mion ended the game with a magnificent victory. Sadako and Rika-chan, who had labored so hard to betray me, had fallen into a huge trap afterwards, leaving them frustrated about more than a few things. People who betray others will one day be betrayed themselves. Never been more true, huh? Meh. You're not the one I want to hear that from, Keiichi-san. Rena didn't fall for anyone's tricks. That's how I got second. Rena doesn't buy into lies very easily. Damn. She has a sharp wit. I'm surprised. It seems like she would fall for the first lie to come her way. No, Keiichi hasn't really lied to anybody yet in this book. Funny you should say that, Kei-chan. You desired to prey upon others, and right away you became the prey instead. Make sure you don't fall for those dumb schemes that promise higher returns the more friends you rope in, okay? Yeah. I'll try harder. Even good friends will lay traps mercilessly and betray everyone in sight once they get into a serious enough game. But despite that, once it's all over, they can feel refreshed and laugh again. It reminded me of how we were all such great friends. Anyways, I'm looking forward to Keiichi-san's punishment game. However, can you really implement such a thing? I would think the store manager would have a thing or two to say about it, no? I wonder. Maybe Keiichi-kun will be really cute. I kinda wanna see how... I am on the edge of my seat. I will trip him up and make him wipe the floor. That would be great. Oh, why couldn't I win now of all times? Gender. Whenever I think I'll definitely win today, and that I'll make somebody else play the punishment game, I lose. Is it not enough? Do I not believe hard enough in victory? Ugh. The wailing of the loser tastes like sweet honey. How sad, Pat Pat. This is how you get stronger, Keiichi-kun. It's like I'm looking at Mii-chan from last year. Mii-chan last year? But did she always lose and moan about it in the past? How very interesting. I didn't know our undefeated president, Mion, was once like that. No need to talk about that. Mion hastily covered Rena's mouth. Everyone watching burst out laughing. Finally, Rika-chan pulled on Sadako's sleeve. Okay, we should be going soon. Oh, yes, we must go shopping for dinner, mustn't we? I wanted to keep talking like this forever, but it was getting late. We split up with Sadako and Rika-chan and decided to get in on our way home. Alright, bye. See you tomorrow at school. Everyone waved to each other and split up for the short time between now and tomorrow. Okay, let's go. We began walking down the tall staircase leading from the shrine grounds. As the sun started to set, the afternoon's heat began to disappear as though it were never there. Just listening to the chorus of the Higurashi was enough to make me forget how hot it had been today. Come to think of it, it's still June, huh? We didn't have a rainy season at all this year. Like, all of a sudden it's just summer, you know? Now that I thought about it, she was right. It was June, the season of long range, of hydrangeas and snails. I hadn't seen a real rainy season since transferring here. According to the weather forecast, it's supposed to get more rainy during the first part of the week. They were warning people about heavy showers. I hope it doesn't run into Wada Nagashi. That's right. The rainy season's supposed to be rainy. Rena likes all the rain in the rainy season. What? So much rain just makes me depressed. Hey, Keicha. Huh? I was a little spaced out, so I was late in answering Mion. I was thinking back to my conversation with her sister. When I said that Satoshi transferred, Shion clearly got angry. She was mad at me for saying something so careless. I mean, it may have been a vague way of skirting around the fact that he ran away from home, but I don't think it was so bad that Shion would need to feel mad about it. I wasn't really satisfied with it. I felt like a child, completely ignorant of what he was being scolded for. So my thoughts spilled out of my mouth in a very direct fashion. Sadako had a brother, right? Named Satoshi, I think. Bro, the girls... What? As soon as I said the name Satoshi, Rena and Mion both lost their relaxed, comfortable mood and made strange expressions. Should I have avoided talking about this? That's what they made me think. But I've already said it, so that's that. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested. What happened to Satoshi again? Did he move away? That was such a transparent way of putting it, but in my desire to know everything, I feigned ignorance. Mion turned around and looked to Rena for assistance. Rena looked between us, then quietly and softly spoke. Wait, did we not tell you? He transferred out. When I said those words to Shion, she got upset. So I answered her with the same words Shion had given me. Transferred? Who told you something like that? Huh? I had only intended to borrow Shion's words, but I had said it exactly the same way she had, right down to the thorns in my voice. When I realized what I had done, I immediately tried to soften my remark. If he really transferred, there would be records of it at school and stuff, right? But is there actually anything like that? Mion and Rena, their eyes grew wide. They were at a loss for words. I started to feel like I was doing something really bad. I thought they were only hiding the fact that Sadako's brother ran away out of consideration for her. I'm not trying to blame you for anything, okay? I just wanted to ask what happened to Satoshi, that's all. I wasn't trying to blame them. The fact that I had to remind them even looked like I was tormenting them with an impossible question. No, maybe I was actually bullying them. Maybe I had lashed out of them in retaliation for Shion getting mad at me. This whole day had been so much fun, but now... Why did I go and say something that made all of that meaningless? I couldn't help but regret my own careless curiosity. That's enough. Let's drop it now. As I was about to say that, Mion spoke up. Well, it's not like we were hiding it or lying. I hope you understand that's not what we were trying to do. Mion's tone conveyed her genuine awkwardness. They sounded like the excuses of a child who'd been presented with evidence of her own mischief. Satoshi, well, he didn't transfer schools, Mion said, resigning herself. But I felt bad for pushing her to say that. So, it's okay, Mion. Let's stop talking about Satoshi. Sorry for teasing you. I wanted to apologize, but right before that, he won't come back. What? Unlike Mion's stammered reply, Rena was extremely clear and resolute. He won't come back. What? He won't come back home ever since that day. He won't come back. That was a very strange way of putting it. Normally you would say he hadn't come back yet. At least, I thought you'd say it like that if Rena did if he wasn't capable of coming back. Wouldn't say it like that when talking about someone who ran away from home. What do you mean he won't come back? Where did Satoshi go? Don't know. Rena's word choice felt very cold to me. It was so cold I couldn't muster a response right away. Well, she's right. After that day, Satoshi hadn't returned home. Mion noticed the deadlock between us and hurriedly followed up on what Rena had said. Well, that is, everyone in the village searched for him, and we even got the police to help us look. And, well, they started thinking that maybe he ran away. They started thinking he maybe ran away. When running away from home, I thought you were supposed to leave a note or something. So when Satoshi ran away, he would probably have left some kind of letter apologizing to Sadako. That was just kind of what I figured. But from the way Mion was talking, it seemed a little different than just running away from home. The police did an investigation. Satoshi had been earning money at a part-time job, and he had put some aside. And they learned that on the day he vanished, he withdrew it all. And then, at Nagoya Station or something, they spotted someone who looked a lot like Satoshi. He withdrew all his savings to fund his escape from home. Was that it? It seemed consistent enough to me. But before I could say anything, I think that's a lie. Satoshi-kun didn't run away, declared Rena shortly. Hey, wait. So if he didn't transfer schools or move away, and he didn't run away from home, then what on earth? Stop it, Rena, Mion whispered to her. Rena, however, continued without interruption. And then she said this. Because it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. Huh? A curse? It took some time before I understood what Rena meant by that. Mion clicked her tongue and shook her head a little. Satoshi talked to me before he disappeared. He said someone was watching him, stalking him. They even followed him home. Oh my god, I didn't notice Rena nightmare face. We didn't get spooky Rena at all last book, not even once. Nope. Would you like to see classic spooky Rena? There it is. Does this look like the face of Mercy? Satoshi talked to me before he disappeared. They said someone was watching him, stalking him. They even followed him home. He told me that when he went to bed, They were standing there at his bedside, looking down on him. Stop it, Rena. It's a portent of Oyashiro-sama's curse. There's no doubt. I think, somewhere deep down, Satoshi-kun was probably thinking about abandoning Hinamizawa and running away. And Oyashiro-sama wouldn't allow that. I said stop it. Oyashiro-sama is the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. He would never allow anyone to abandon Hinamizawa and run away. I apologized for it, but Satoshi-kun probably didn't. It must have been Oyashiro-sama's curse. Oyashiro-sama's curse. I hadn't intended to repeat it. No, the same thing that Satoshi disappeared a year ago, so the same thing happened to Satoshi in every loop. We're just getting more details about it as time goes on in different loops. I hadn't intended to repeat it, but the words came out of my mouth anyway. Also, the fucking Rena Usoda sprite. It's kind of terrifying. Oyashiro-sama's curse. The police may have said he ran away, but I don't believe it. I won't believe it, not ever. It's just a lie told by the self-important people in the village who don't want to admit it was the curse. And whether or not you believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse, it's... Mion struck Rena in the head. Wow. There was nothing slapstick about that. Mion just fucking punched her. Not in a joking way, either. I told you to give it a rest, didn't I? I try to be nice, but you're pushing me to my limits. Pushing her to her limits? Actually, there was plenty of displeasure and anger in Mion's face at that moment. For a few moments after being hit, Rena looked astonished. Perhaps the voices of the Higurashi calmed her frantic mind, because after a little while, she regained her original calm expression. We arrived at the place we always split up with Mion. No one said a word until we got there. God, that's... oof. The voices of the Higurashi just tortured our ears with their buzzing. We'd always split up with Mion here, just leaving Rena and me. Hey, Kei-chan. Didn't I promise to lend you some manga? Want to come over real quick? Huh? She promised that? However, I quickly realized it was just a convenient way of saying she wanted to talk to me alone. Oh, I see. Okay, then Rena will go home. Maybe she realized it. Maybe she didn't. Thankfully, Rena quickly said she'd go home before us. Bye, Rena. See you tomorrow. Yep. See you tomorrow. Keiichi-kun, don't be too much of a bother now. It's already evening. I'm just gonna borrow a few books. See ya. Considering the fun day we had, it was a very insipid, lonely parting. Hey, don't worry too much about before. After a little while, Mion finally spoke. Quite some time had passed since splitting up with Rena. No, I'm not, really. I think it was my fault anyway. We weren't trying to hide anything about Satoshi. It's just one of those things that we shouldn't mention, you know? At this point, I understood exactly what she meant by that. Judging by our odd interactions with Rena, I understood so well it hurt that I shouldn't ever talk about it again. Actually, if that's the case, then with Shion too. No, this is a bigger problem. Talking about it in the first place had been indiscreet. I shouldn't have been interested in it at all. But that's why I really had to think about it. About why everyone got so irritated. Idiot. Stop this, my Barakeiichi. By the time I tried to warn myself, I had accidentally spoken already. I won't ask ever again. So could you tell me honestly, what on earth happened to Satoshi? He ran away, right? For a long time, Mion remained silent, but finally, unable to endure it any longer, she began to speak timidly. Have you ever heard about Oyashiro-sama's curse? Just a little bit. I got the gist of it. I only overheard someone in class talking about it, though. Oyashiro-sama was the name of the deity protecting Hinamizawa. They worship at the shrine we had the barbecue at today. And a few years ago, when they started talking about flooding Hinamizawa as part of the dam project, one of the people who worked on site died or something, and the people blamed it on Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's how it was. Satoshi's dead parents, they were proponents of the dam project. Huh? Wasn't everyone in the village against it? Why would they support the project even if they lived here? The dam project that would flood the entirety of Hinamizawa. I'd heard that the village all got together to fight the terrible project, but it was a little hard to believe there were villagers who were supporting it. Well, there was a lot of stuff going on, but not everyone agreed to stand up to the dam proposal. Satoshi's parents were basically the leaders of those who were all for it. Leaders of the ones for it? Sadako and Satoshi's parents? Yeah. The government had gathered a lot of compensation money in exchange for the construction of the dam. There were plenty of people who agreed with the proposal because they wanted the money. Well, Marana, part of the thing that happened in the cast party after the last thing was some of the characters were like, well, I guess that's it. The Sonozaki family has got to be the masterminds behind everything. And some of the other characters were like, I don't know. In my opinion, I think this means that the Sonozaki family being the culprits has drastically gone down. Because how could they have pulled off all these murders throughout all of the years? And also, why would we learn about it in book 2? So there's like a couple of schools of thought on this. But they do always have a giant ass torture dungeon. They do always have that. That is a very old giant ass torture dungeon. Aside from a few households, Hinamizawa was, in general, not very affluent. And not because they were proud to inherit the land of their ancestor. It wouldn't be strange if some people wanted enough money to start a new life. But even in that case, they would have had to hesitate to say so given the situation. It just happened to be Sadako and Satoshi's parents who understood that and stood up to be their representative. By that standard, you might say Sadako and Satoshi's parents were very heroic. They volunteered to be hated, all to help those without much money who didn't have a voice. That's a very interesting way to look at it, huh? It's very easy to want to stand up to the, you know. Oh, I mean, but yeah, Zeros, that is another thing that was said. And then their parents had bad luck. They died in an accident on the day of the festival honoring Oyashiro-sama. So people started to think that maybe it had been Oyashiro-sama's curse. I thought back to what Coach told me today. They went to a nature park on a family outing and fell from a cliff. So, people thought even Satoshi running away from home was because of Oyashiro-sama's curse? Well, yeah, basically. It was a bit of an evasive reply, but I felt it was wrong to ask any further, so I didn't press her for details. According to Irie, they fell to their deaths off that cliff literally right in front of Sadako. Sadako witnessed it. So, I don't know. I don't think I need to explain this, but for Sadako, her parents' accident and Satoshi running away, and all the business about Oyashiro-sama's curse, none of it's a very happy story, you know? Yeah, of course I knew. I could only nod silently. Sorry, I had to clear my throat real quick. That's why we're not mentioning anything about Sadako's family. Even if someone asks about Satoshi, we just lie and say he transferred schools. You can understand why, right? They want to protect Sadako's happiness, her smile. As someone who thought that way once, even for a short time, I really did regret having been imprudent enough to broach the topic to begin with. Yeah, I get it. I'm sorry I asked something so careless. When she heard that, Mion smiled, seeming a little relieved. With that understanding, I think that I should get go. Thinking that I should get going, I began to make my way home. I could really have stopped by Mion's house, but it was already late. I'd stop by again the next time I had the chance. Bye then, Mion. Sorry about today. See you tomorrow. Yeah, goodbye. We waved to each other. Then, suddenly remembering something, Mion called out to me. Kei-chan, one more thing. Not only around Sadako, could you keep quiet about Satoshi with Rena, too? Huh? I think you realized earlier, but for some reason, when it comes to Oyashiro-sama's curse, she gets extremely serious. Ever since she transferred here. Yeah. Judging by how Rena was acting earlier, it was clearly no laughing matter to her. Mion had interrupted the conversation for us. But if Mion hadn't been here, what might have happened? Why would Rena be so serious about it? Not only Rena either, but Shion too. I don't know. Rena is... This is a secret, okay? If you tell anyone, we're not friends anymore. Mion emphasized this as her expression clouded even further. I won't tell. What's this about Rena? She says she's been a victim of Oyashiro-sama's curse before. Huh? Well, it may sound mean, but I think it might be a bad case of a persecution complex or some kind of wrong assumption. But she says so herself, so I believe her. If I poke fun at it, she gets pretty upset. Rena jokes around all the time, but she's really scary when she's mad. Yeah, Rena and Shion both left Hinamizawa, that is true. And this did happen in Loop 1. She smashed all the windows in her school after she moved away. And she said it was because of Oyashiro-sama. I get it. Don't talk about it in front of Rena, right? About Satoshi. Yeah. If possible, I think we shouldn't talk about this ever again. For her sake. And for Sadako's. For everyone else's, too. And if I must say, for your own sake too, Kei-chan. With her silence, Mion made sure I knew that. Yeah. Okay. I got it. Thanks. Saying only that, she waved her hand and began walking away. I watched her go, a little dazed, and then started walking myself. Sadako's older brother, Satoshi. Had he run away from home? Or had he been a victim of the curse and disappeared forever? Whichever the case, none of this was anything I should have asked about. The cooling air forced me into self-reflection. I wanted Sadako to smile, yet my curiosity easily defeated me, and I frivolously tried to step into the dark side of things in a joking way. I'm shameful. I wanted today to be exactly like yesterday. I wanted tomorrow to be just as fun as today, too. So why did I go and do something like that? We were having a blast at the baseball game yesterday, and today we had a blast at the big barbecue party, too. It was a lot of fun. But then I went and almost nullified all of those fun times. I would have to be more careful starting tomorrow. I would put all this unpleasant stuff behind me forever. Like hell, I'm gonna let my enjoyable life end because of how careless I was today. But the more I thought that I'd be careful starting tomorrow, the more I thought I couldn't get rid of this ominous thought that I had already put an end to those enjoyable days with what I'd just done. Hey, wait. Calm down, my Barakeiichi. The gears of destiny are freaking gigantic, aren't they? What happened just now was trivial. It doesn't make any sense to think my life will be totally different starting tomorrow. But even though I understood it logically, the mist in my heart wasn't going to fade until tomorrow turned out to be as fun as today. I'm acting weird, thinking a little too much about that conversation. I wish tomorrow would come already. I wanted it to make me understand how absurd my insignificant doubts really were. The night was long. Higurashi, when they cry. Someone put in the Always Sunny theme. Thank you for the posture check and the hydrate. Manager. Thank you, Jude. Alright. Let's knock out these tips, and then we're gonna call it a night. The slacking manager. Shion-san, why don't you help out a little? Are you asking a girl to carry something heavy? This is why you still haven't found a nice lady at your age, coach. Well, you see, at times like these, here's what people say. It's none of your business. He was loading the station wagon with heaps of equipment we'd used for today's barbecue meeting. All the fathers and sons who had helped were starting to get on their own way. Alright, so, Shion-san, why did you come all the way here? If you rode here on your bike, I can give you a lift. I did, but I'll be fine riding back. I appreciate your consideration. I was glad you came today. Things don't quite fit together without the manager here. Am I still the manager? I've been shirking my duty for an entire year, so maybe you should just fire such an incompetent manager already. Alright, if you say you want to quit, then I'll fire you whenever you want. That's not fair. Let me go soon, please. Every time I don't show up at a game, I get an annoying phone call, and I can't stand those. If you were more honest with yourself, Shion-chan, you'd be far cuter. Your father is so sad. Where did he go so wrong as to deserve such a rebellious daughter? Well, perhaps if your father catches you in a big, loving embrace, he'll open your eyes? Oh god, stop being weird. I fucking hate this dude. Coach was fooling around with all his might, but Shion just smiled into the distance without responding. Nothing's changed. You're still a weirdo, Coach, and everyone's still lively as ever. Even though Satoshi-kun isn't here. Is that what you wanted to say? He'll come home. I'm sure of it. He has someone waiting for him. Say whatever you want. He sure is cruel, isn't he? Going off to who knows where, leaving such a cute girlfriend behind? Girlfriend? Who? Who? Huh? Jeez. Laughing already. Coach. Coach bent over and laughed heartily for a little while. We'll see each other again. Please come and root for us once in a while, okay? If I feel like it. I have no desire to be the manager anymore, after all. That's fine. If you don't like it, I'll fire you. I'm not the kind of person who likes forcing people to do things against their will. Okay, fine, fine. I'm sorry. You win this round. If I feel like it, I'll come root for you, so for today, just be patient. Oops, that time already? It's past time to return all this. I'm already making them wait for me. I'll be leaving for today, then. Let's meet again at the next game. Yes, if I feel like it. Goodbye, Coach. Wow. What do you think would make her feel like it? Yeah. She probably stopped going to games after Satoshi left? Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it? Copy of the preliminary autopsy. The autopsy suggests that the victim was killed in the following manner. 1. Entire body bound in restraints. Traces left behind when the body seemed to have been bound indicated usage of a specific restraining table rather than rope or another common method. Finger joints on either hand appear to have been bound especially tightly. Highly likely that the table was either specially made or homemade given this information. Both ears and nose severed with a sharp blade. Traces of the restraint and other things seem to suggest there was at least one more other than the person who severed these body parts holding down the victim's head. Possible that multiple blades were used, with one of them most likely being scissors or shears. 3. 5 nails penetrated fingers on each hand. One long nail stuck in each joint of each finger on each hand for a total of 30. The deceased's fingers were nailed to wooden planks 20 square centimeters apart. Extremely likely these planks were part of the restraining table. In addition, it is likely that the table was originally designed for just such a purpose. Abdomen incised, intestines removed. The incision in the abdomen is likely to have been a technique grounded in medical mythology using a sharp blade. Estimated that there was still no threat to the victim's life after this stage. After this, the organs inside the incision were dismantled and removed. The victim likely died as a result of this process. 5. Body disposed. After fastening a dumbbell to the victim's neck using a commercial pet collar, the victim was likely abandoned in the Oji River's third drain. Judging by the dumbbell's weight, it's highly possible they would have needed at least 3 grown men to have disposed of the body. At least 3 grown men? To Oishi-san. Here's a copy of the preliminary autopsy of the slaughtered corpse in the Oji River. Chief Shigeharu sees this as having a possible relation to the S group. What are your thoughts, Oishi-san? I mean, that's pretty cut and dried, isn't it? But who the hell is this? They have not given us a time. They have not given us a date, a time, or even a year on that corpse. There it is. Ron. 3 Chun, 3 Dora, Mongon with 150 extra. What What's up with that? How do you have 3 Dora? Idiot, you're the one who flipped over another Condora when you knew Oishi was in Tenpai. That's what you get. Getting more Dora was the only thing I could do after revealing the Chun. You can't discard a Dora tile after a Yakuhai is out. Yeah, the cops play Mahjong. It's true. We have not met Oishi yet. It's true. It was a female corpse, yeah. Oishi grinned meaningfully as his buddies, swearing, began breaking down the walls and reforming them. By the way, Oishi-san, figure it out yet? What? Oh, the murdered body in the drainage channel. Any new clues come up? Yes, well, you are the one collecting the evidence here. I should have expected that. Who was the deceased? Mamiya Rina. Actual name Noriko. Apparently she worked for the Blue Mermaid, a hostess bar on Shishibone Flower Road. Yeah, this is a new name. We have not heard the name Mamiya Rina yet. Oh wow, that place, huh? A young leader of the Sonozakis owns it, yeah? Sonozaki, whoops. So it's related to the S group. That mountain will be tough to scale. Rumors say the deceased had her hands in both drug dealing and money to be paid to the government. And on a pretty significant scale, too, from what I've heard. A woman getting her hands on Yakuza tax money. Sounds like a man's behind it. Not a lot of women do that sort of thing themselves. Well, she's dead now. The dead can't have anything to do with it. About that, Oishi-san. Her man's apparently alive. Alive? Then maybe he'll die soon. Vermin usually exterminate other vermin. I think we have a very nice self-cleansing system going on. Anyway, her man, it's, well, Hojo Tepe. Ugh. Sorry, just as a Higurashi fan, I guess this is kind of spoilers. I cannot say this man's name without getting, like, physically ill. Hojo? Who's that? Hojo Tepe. The husband of the housewife who was beaten to death last year in Hinamizawa. I heard he disappeared after the incident, though. I get it. He was staying at his lover's place, huh? And so the Sonozakis grow ever more suspicious. Where is he now? He was living in a woman's apartment. He must have thought she abandoned him, so he's been searching around shops and other gathering places.